Hello everyone, welcome to Mr. Radden. Everything you need to know about my channel is in the main description. For this video, I'll be talking about OCD anxiety versus OCD triggers, because from my experience they aren't the same. So I've talked about anxiety in another video. That's where you get shocks, small waves of anxiety in the back of your skull when you do something or you end up in a random situation that your OCD doesn't like. Sometimes that sensation subsides fairly quickly. For me, it went pretty fast when I did some sort of routine to undo the problem, if you will. An OCD trigger, on the other hand, for me, that was way worse. So how to explain this one? Have you ever been stung by a wasp? Now, for most people, it's extremely painful and causes a huge shock. I'm not saying that it's exactly the same as an OCD trigger. What I'm saying is it's definitely the equivalent of. It's basically the wasp sting of the brain, if you can get what that could be like. So it's not the same type of pain, but it's what I would call mental torture. In its own way, it's just as bad. And the worst part, it's not like you can just go directly into your brain to treat it. And this horrible feeling, which is caused by a random event which you can't predict, it puts the chemical balance in your brain out of balance. So the question is, can it be stopped? Well, with a particular treatment, yes, but I won't go into that yet. That'll be for a future video. For now, this video is just about what a trigger is and the effect it has. So you can't predict when you'll get a trigger, or at least I couldn't. And I'll go into my experiences with triggers another time as well. The worst thing about a trigger is you have no idea how long it will take for your brain to heal from it and move on from that horrible feeling that stays in your brain for, well, it could be a whole day. I once had a trigger that took an entire day to stop, and another one which lasted for an entire week. Now let me tell you, that was torture. My brain just kept obsessing over and over again at that moment that caused the trigger that I couldn't take back. You have to pace yourself, you have to take deep breaths, and this part is the hardest part. You have to allow this horrible feeling to just wash over you. You have to just ignore it the best you can, and that is extremely challenging. It's one of the most challenging things I've ever had to do in my life when I used to have triggers. And yes, that's now past tense, but as I previously said, I will be going into that in later videos. And I realise this has been a pretty grim video, and in future videos I will discuss some of the daft and also really annoying things which have caused me to have triggers over the past few years alone, and I'm fine to talk about them. That's fine. And maybe you'll be listening and think, yeah, I've been there too. You're not alone. No, you're definitely not alone. It was horrible for me as well. And that's the point of this channel, to support and encourage others with not just my experiences, but possibly others as well. In the meantime, that's all for me for this one, everyone. Take care and all the best. Until next time.